ESPN Cricket Info welcomes Russel Arnold for the last time in the Test series. Russel, as expected, Sri Lanka went down today, but they did go down with a bit of a fight.
Yeah, a day too late, I would think. Sri Lanka really needed to win that first session on the first day once they had asked South Africa to bat first. I think a chance was there. Vellagendra missing a half chance might have changed the game, but from then on, once South Africa got through that period, it was always going to hurt. And South Africa showed great intent, gave Sri Lanka no chance. Even with the declaration, it was a very positive declaration which would have put Sri Lanka under pressure. But ideally, Sri Lanka needed to win that third day. Tilakaratne Dilshan again as captain looked really good, and he needed a big score just to win that respect of everybody, but threw it away, and from then on Sri Lanka innings went downhill. So that was disappointing to see, and on a day that we expected that Sri Lanka might bat through because the wicket was still good, it just all turned sour and found themselves in a hole. But great fight back today, again when we were not expecting it. So the expectations seem to be playing a part in how Sri Lankans approach the game. But great to see Thilan really fighting it out. He's been determined to prove his critics wrong, left out of the tour, so a late inclusion. And also throughout the years, though he's made lots of runs and averages in the 50s, he doesn't get that respect. But from now on, I'm sure things will change. Twin hundreds, one for a winning cause, and today showed that he's still determined and willing to put up a fight. Angelo Matthews a positive, but in the end it was disappointing because from 1-1 you'd have expected Sri Lanka having a chance, and this wicket was fair, mind you. So if Sri Lanka was smart, they had an opportunity here, but not to be. But if you look at the series in a whole, 2-1, you'd walk away with it with your heads held high. Sri Lanka came here looking for positives, and they've got it. The youngsters coming to the party. Chandimal showed that he can be a part of it. Sangakkara stood out. Thilan Samaravira and the bowling unit showed that if they work as a unit, but different to what we have used to in the past, that they can make an impact. And that's the most important thing. Rangana Herath showed that he can do a job. But Sri Lanka need to keep in mind that it's a particular game that they'll have to play. It's going to have to be disciplined. They're going to have to be really good in the field, and also start very strong, because they don't have the team to run behind other teams and win matches. From the start, get runs on the board probably, and then quietly chip away. Like Jayasuriya said, try and choke teams out.
One man's name that we haven't mentioned is Mahela Jayawardene. He hasn't had a great series. What do you think of his performance, and how can he improve?
Well, that's up to him. He's a man with flair, got all the experience. But the disappointing stat is he's not made a 50 for Sri Lanka in Test cricket. That's outside Sri Lanka in over 2 years. That's the 275 in Ahmedabad in 2009. Since then, it's been a struggle, and that's been one of the reasons Sri Lanka is struggling. Of course, we are having a new unit, a transition period. What you would have really expected was for the seniors to stand out. With Dilshan failing and Jayawardene also not performing, that's really caused a big problem with the youngsters settling in. If they had been scoring those usual 50s, 60s on a regular basis, I think Sri Lanka would have moved forward faster. But now going forward, there are decisions to be made. I don't know how they will look at Mahela Jayawardene, because he's really struggled, and you need to make changes now to see where Sri Lanka can go. Not many, but really make decisions to really make Sri Lanka look a better team. Jayawardene has had a fair run, so it'll be interesting to see how the next series the team is picked for. That's against England in Colombo, but Sri Lanka will need experience there too, because England is a good team. So probably go with experience and give the bowlers a new run, another run to work together, and then see what changes they can make. But they can't leave Samaravira out. So if they're looking for someone to make a change and bring a youngster in or a fresh face, well, I'm afraid it's going to have to be Jayawardene if you go on current form. Dilshan as captain, I thought on the field he's been good. He's actually made sense in his bowling changes. He's kept the fight going, and also, I mean, he's achieved something no one has ever achieved. Sri Lanka with no chance, winning a test match here. I mean, you got to give credit to him. The disappointing factor is his contributions with the bat and the way he's been getting out, very irresponsible. You need to actually contribute to gain the respect of your players, and just walk out there and expect them to follow you. So that's where he's struggling, but it'll be interesting decisions to be made for Sri Lanka, because Dilshan has been appointed only for this series. So where do they go? I don't think Angelo Matthews is ready yet. He needs to concentrate, or given that opportunity to find himself. And Sangakkara doesn't want the job. So So where do you go? So probably Dilshan once again, or maybe look for a new candidate, or split captaincies. Well, time will only tell, and I think we need to sit down and think about it rather than make statements far too early.
Russell, you've been part of the Sri Lanka touring party over the course of 2011 and early 2012. You've seen them play against England and now against South Africa. How do you think South Africa will fare against England, having watched both sides?
Well, I think it'll be an interesting series. Still, I think South Africa underperforming, not up to potential, because they have a much better team than what the results show. They should have won so many more series, given Sri Lanka no chance. They got good bowlers, but I think against better teams, they might actually perform better. At this stage, I say better because Sri Lanka down in the rankings and not performing up to scratch. But England, they are a good side. They are a professional side. It will be a very interesting series to look forward to. But England have the ability, or have been handling that pressure much better than South Africa. They wouldn't have crumbled like South Africa did. I wouldn't think so with the cricket they're playing at the moment. So it's going to be a very tight series. South Africa definitely have to move up a gear if they are to match England.
Before that, we've got the one-day series between South Africa and Sri Lanka. Some changes to both sides, most notably Lasith Malinga is coming into the Sri Lankan side. How competitive do you think the 5 matches will be?
I think it will be a better series because Sri Lanka better at one-day cricket and more comfortable, more at home. And if the feedback is right, the wickets also should favour both teams rather than green tops where Sri Lanka don't really enjoy playing that much. So it will be interesting to see, and I think with the confidence gained from this series, the test series, I think Sri Lanka will compete far better and push South Africa all the way.
Russell, as a final thing to assess the 3-test series, how would you say Sri Lanka have done overall? Give them a rating out of 10.
I'll go with 8. We gave them no chance. They've lifted their head up. I've taken 2 points away for the 3rd test. I thought a little bit more would have earned that too.
Well, maybe next time. Russel Arnold, as always, thank you very much.